Last year I made a video about Stacey Kozel when I had my New to the Wild channel, and everybody threw a fit. I became public enemy #1. Well, this year we're going to talk about Stacey Kozel again, and it's probably going to happen again. I'm Teardrop. This is the Legend of Teardrop. Let's do this. This is Teardrop, and welcome to New to the Wild. Welcome here, everybody. I'm Teardrop. Now, as you heard in the intro, last year I made a very critical video of Stacey Kozel. In that video, what I did is I essentially said that is someone that cannot feel their legs a thru hiker. If they do not have the same physical strain as the rest of us, are they a thru hiker? Now, I understand there's going to be a lot of different opinions with that, and I understood the backlash that I got from that. And so I'm not by any means whining about that. However, during that video, I made comments about the concept and ideas of a lot of these people that their self-esteem is low and they need a big accomplishment like this to essentially make themselves feel better. And of course, I got a lot of hate. So now we're going to fast forward a little bit of time. Now, this year, earlier in the year, I saw that Stacey Kozel, who, by the way, has prosthetic legs. They're not real. But anyway, earlier this year, I noticed that she had went onto the PCT. Now, at that time, I thought about making a video. And I said, no, I'm just going to leave it alone this time. I was in the middle of my own hike, as a matter of fact. So, and I figured by this point, because she had already accomplished the AT, if I would have made a video, I figured that people would have said I was jealous of her. So I chose not to do it. But everyone that knows me knows that I've always said that I personally consider Stacey Kozel a fraud. Now, you may ask me why. And then the answer is simple. Because, well, I live on the Appalachian Trail. The Wolfpen Gap Country Store, I not only worked for, I lived there and I ran it. Now, here's the truth. Stephen Gooch of the Wolfpen Gap Country Store, when it was still open, said that she came there and stayed about 4 days. So there's not a doubt in anyone's mind that she started the Appalachian Trail. But at 20 miles into the Appalachian Trail, she stayed at the Wolfpen Gap Country Store for 4 days. So at that point, you say, okay, she likes hostels. She needs hostels, apparently, to charge her legs. Then I'd like you to please explain to me why Carry On or Bob or anyone else in the Southern Appalachians necessarily remembers seeing Stacey Kozel. Now, keep in mind, I was at Wolfpen Gap Country Store. Then I went to Top of Georgia last year and worked security for Bob Gabrielson at Top of Georgia. So I'm not just taking Bob and Carry On at their word. I actually was there. Then I went and hiked. So I was also on the trail. And I'm telling you now, if she was out there, she was not necessarily hiking every mile. Now, you may ask me, JB, why do you care? Teardrop, why do you care? And here's the thing, I don't. But when people use the trail commercially to solicit funds, or to solicit trail magic, or to solicit donations via PayPal, or have sponsors, then it becomes an issue because the commercialization based on a fraud affects all of us hikers when we look for sponsorships or when we look for things like that. You see what I'm saying? It is a trickle-down effect that affects negatively the entire community. So, I left it alone earlier in the year. Now we're going to fast forward to just recently. Now, I'm back from the AT. And I'm subscribed to the Pacific Crest Trail because I intend on making that one of my next stops. Well, when I did that, I'm subscribed to the 2018 or 2017 page. I was starting to hear the grumblings of people that recognized that Stacey Kozel was not seen along the Pacific Crest Trail. And let me make this very clear. Someone with that kind of trouble with their legs that needs to charge them all the time would be a very frequent visitor to towns and hostels. And the fact that we have one of the most famous hostel owners down in Hiker Heaven saying she's leading the charge. The owners of Hiker Heaven is leading the charge. No one saw her. No one saw Stacey Kozel on the Pacific Crest Trail. And this story is being picked up by everybody. It's been picked up by Deadspin, by ABC News. Stacey Kozel did not, in my opinion, hike the Appalachian Trail. Now, what they're saying is that Stacey Kozel started in March and then ended in August. About the same, in 5 months, a handicapped woman who supposedly last year took like 8 or 9 months to hike the AT, supposedly hiked the Pacific Crest Trail in 5 months when the High Sierras had one of its worst winter storms ever. The High Sierras were unpassable for people with real fucking legs, let alone were unpassable for people with real legs, let alone people that have to charge them all the time, let alone people that can't let them get wet. I don't believe this story. And now originally she said she finished on September 4th. Then she turned around and said she finished in late August. Let me tell you something about us hikers. If there's one thing we can tell you our start date and we can tell you our summit date. We can tell you all that. You know why? Because it's a very important event to us. So none of us would mix up our summit dates or our finish dates, or in her case, that Canada date. You don't mix that type of thing up. So publicly, I'm once again going to say that just like I did last year, Stacey Kozel is a fraud. Even if she did accomplish this feat, her legs are not real. She does not feel the absolute same strain and strenuous shit that us hikers feel. So even if she did hike, then there needs to be an asterisk by her name. Remember, that's the trail name I gave her last year, asterisk. Because there needs to be an asterisk by her name. And now to find out that the very person that I said wasn't even a real thru hiker anyways, probably is lying to all of us and really wasn't a thru hiker. I think that what that does is it vindicates me. All you people that called me an asshole, all you people that called me jealous, all you people that said this and that about me, what now? What now when you have the entire goddamn West Coast, excuse my language for you religious folks, what now when you have the entire West Coast saying they never saw her? Seems like I was ahead of this story. I called her a fraud last year. I will call her a fraud this year. So Stacey Kozel, here's what I want to say to you. Let me interview you. I used to do a series on my other channel called Hiker Spotlights. I would love the opportunity to sit down live via Skype and interview you. It will not be edited. I will not edit your answers. We will do it live. Live stream. Everyone will see it as it happens. Stacey, that's what I would like to do because the hiking community has a lot of questions. And in fact, we can actually probably do it on Google Hangouts on the live stream on YouTube, and they can just ask their questions during the live stream. Let the community ask their questions. And if you are who you say you are, answer the questions. Lord knows I have to answer these people every fucking day. And I do. Let me tell you something, Stacey. Stacey Kozel, I understand how much the accomplishment of hiking these trails means. So I understand why you would do it. Lord knows I've thought a million times, but my honor and pride wouldn't let me do it. I've thought about it a million times, just skipping parts. Or flying up to Katahdin and getting that Katahdin picture because it means so much to me. But it won't, my self-morality will not allow me to do it. I have to hike 2,200 miles to get that sign. My own morality won't even let me start where I stopped off. I have to start back at Springer every time. And trust me, lady, I've done it several times. I'm not calling you out because you're a chick. I'm not calling you out because I'm jealous. I'm just giving my opinion. And if you can't tell, it's not just my opinion. All you have to do is look at everybody in the PCT community. And for all the people that's saying it does not matter, I ask you, do you or do you not consider a thru hike a amazing accomplishment? And if you do, then you wouldn't want anyone to fraudulently claim it. You asked our climbers of Mount Everest if if they would want someone walking around with a fraudulent claim of climbing Mount Everest. These hikes are these through hikes are amazing, and I commend everyone that does them. And I criticize everyone that claims to do them. They did not. Stacey Kozel, the article itself that was written by Deadspin talks about it. And it literally, there's no way you did it in 5 months. There's no way. Not with your legs. Not through the high Sierras in all that snow. And there's definitely no way you did it without the trail angels and the hostel owners seeing you. I don't care how much you wanted to be in solitude. I don't care about your excuse that you didn't want to slow people down. No. Because I'm telling you right now, I live on the Appalachian Trail, and I know people out here on the AT that never even saw you. I know plenty of hikers from last year because I was part of it. No one saw you. Very few people saw you. So if you guys want my final analysis, I believe that she got rides to the places she needed to take the big pictures, the big videos, the big all of that. That's my honest opinion. And I believe on the PCT, she didn't even go that far. She just skipped the whole fucking thing. And then it came back 5 months later and said that's what she was doing. There are fucking physically fit, normal human beings that couldn't hike that thing in 5 months. I don't believe you, man. I don't believe that someone as out of shape as you, as with poor legs as you. The bottom line, and I hate to say this. I hate to say this. Because this is going to make me sound like a dick. But you're fat and you have fake legs. You have your legs, you're handicapped. I'm also fat, so I understand how much slower I go than the typical person. You're fat and you have a handicap, man. I don't believe you. Because I don't believe I could have hiked the Pacific Crest Trail in 5 months. I'm just being honest. I believe I would have struggled, even without mechanical legs that I had to charge in the high Sierras. You people can call me an asshole and you can say whatever the fuck you want, but you cannot deny the shit that I've said. Even what I just said about her being fat and her having a handicap. That none of them stories are incorrect. None of those accusations are incorrect. And if you do not believe our physical fitness affects us on the Appalachian Trail, then why, or on the trails in general, why is it that we recommend people get in shape before they go? Yes, it's a sport. And us people that are not necessarily in the best physical shape, whether we're overweight or handicapped, we struggle a little bit. We don't make it in the same time frame as other people. And you expect me to believe that you did? I'm Teardrop. This is the legend of Teardrop. Let the hate begin. I'm out.
Bye, bitches.